I'm exhausted. Let me just start there. I am so... Today's Tuesday, and I don't have a class today, so all I've been doing is like running errands, and I'm so tired. I've been running errands yesterday. I'm running errands today. Like, a girl is just so damn busy. But I'm so grateful for being so busy because there were days where I literally had nothing to do. And I was just like, I need something to do. Like, I need a lot of things to do. Not just anything. Like, give me something that's going to lead to something. You feel me? And it's hot as fuck today. Let's just take off this hat. I'm home. I don't have to wear a beanie. Y'all see me? Like, isn't this cute? It kind of looks like a pixie cut. Okay, listen. It was in the beanie, so, like, a couple of twists are looking scraggly, but let me catch you guys up to what has happened since we last talked last week, right? A lot has happened. Honestly, let me just say that. A lot has happened, and some stuff that, honestly, I have no control of that I wish I could talk about more, but I can because I really have no idea why it happened. It just happened, and it is what it is. Last week, or the week before, like right after I left you guys, we went to Vancouver because I don't live in Vancouver. I live outside Vancouver. And we went to an artist talk in Vancouver at the Bougie Gallery, okay? Just kind of cool because it sounds like bougie. And we got to talk to an artist who was exhibiting there. His name is Kyle Schumerman. I'm gonna put the name here because we'll talk about his art as well, but I'll put the name here because I'm not sure of his last name, but Kyle Schumerman, something like that. And then we also got to talk to the art director there. And then we also went to a gallery, the Ian Tan Gallery, and we got to talk to the owner, Ian, right? Whilst we were at the Bougie Gallery, first of all, Kyle's work is absolutely fantastic. Like, the photos do not do it justice. Like, this is a work that you have to see in person, right? This is a work that, you get to see the details come alive because there is lots of detail in there. And I can't believe he does everything himself, like by hand too. It's just absolutely amazing. I'll put pictures too as I talk about it. But he talked a lot about like the process, grad school, and just like all that stuff. And I guess like for me, I don't know if I want to do that. And then like talking to Kyle and him just saying like, yeah, like he went to grad school and he wanted to paint, whereas the grad school itself was more focused on multimedia. Basically, it was more of like a mixed media practice than it was just a painting course and everything. And I'm like, see, that's why I don't want to go to grad school. I'm like, what if I'm wasting my time? And then I've seen a lot of like videos pop up where it's just like why I quit grad school and all that stuff, and I'm just like, this is clearly a sign. And then he started talking about his process, and I was just like really interested in like the whole process thing, because like for a process we also have to do research, and I'm always thinking like, I don't know what I'm supposed to research. I don't know what to look for or what I should be looking for. Like, what should I investigate more on, right? So he was just talking about like his process is like, he'll spend hours in the field, which is where he gets his inspiration from, or what his works are about. He's more of an environmental activist, so he posts a lot. He paints a lot about like the environment, especially here in BC where there's like wildfires and there's deforestation going on and all that stuff. So he'll go into the fields where like they're literally cutting down the trees, and he's met people who are also activists in that space, and so he's able to like build his work and his practice around those and not accompany those, but like be more accommodating of those experiences and apply them to his work. But that's also where he gets his inspiration. So it's like all these little things, like, okay. And then also just like, him being an artist and like, thinking about the materials that he's using, because he's a environmentalist, right? Just in general, like that in itself also impacts the way that he makes his work. So it got me thinking about like my own process and like what does that look like. So I'm kind of in the process of developing that. We'll talk about that a little bit more in this video as well. And then we went to Ian, and he was talking about like what it's like owning a gallery and like how he's had to move a couple of times because prices that they have to pay, like they're surcharging it and everything, and it's just like crazy. And then also just the fact that like Vancouver versus Toronto, like where do you want to be when you, as an artist, you have to think about like, okay, where is my market, like where am I going to find my people? And I've always felt, since being here and just thinking about like my art and like looking at artworks that are mostly like celebrated or just like in the galleries, just like my work does not fit in these. And I'm just like looking for galleries. I'm like, okay, is there a potential here? Like, is there something? And it's like, I'm not really finding a place where like my work could truly just exist. I'll also talk about that later. But there's like I said, there's a lot that has happened since the last time I posted this video. Like thinking, and I'm like, okay, like where can my work fit, basically? Like I don't know where it can fit, where it's gonna be. Like I just know it deserves a place in this world. okay? And I'm gonna find that place. It's just more so just a little hiccup, right? I'm now thinking like, okay, and also I've noticed a pattern, like Vancouver is really great for its, you know, not wildlife, but like its forestry and stuff like that. So obviously that type of stuff is going to do really well, like, right? So it's like, okay, now I gotta go to like the city areas where there's not a lot of that, so like my art has a chance of standing out. Because it's not that it doesn't stand out, it's just that the people that deserve to see it, or the people that want it or would want it, aren't here. I'm now just thinking like, okay, do I move to Toronto? Like, what's going on? I've always thought about like Toronto as like a place that I would want to go to after like graduating and stuff like that. But now it's kind of like, girl, think about it real hard and long, okay? What else? I got the chance to talk about my art at this program that I am volunteering at, right? And I basically, the last video, telling you who I am and what I've done and what I'm going to be doing. And there was something about it that just felt so real, so authentic. I was walking around with like my paintings in my under my arm and like this bag, and like I had like the Basquiat jersey that I have, and like my bag was like this one, which is like the School of Art. Like, I just felt like a real artist, and like that's something that I definitely want to continue to practice. Obviously, if I move closer to like a gallery that's representing me, I would be able to do that a lot more easier. But just that, it made me feel like a young Basquiat in the greater Vancouver area. And it just made me think about like life as an artist and what that means, and just like how you should have pride in your work. Like, I was on the bus and there's people trying to peep and everything, and I don't know, this might just be me, but I'm just like, don't look, but look. I was like, stop peeping, and then I like scoot over, like, you can look at it. But that's also because like the setting definitely changes everything. Like, if you see a work on the bus and if you see a work in the gallery, like that is two different works. Like, that's like, you really have to think about it. Like, even looking at work in my room versus looking at it on a gallery wall, that's like a completely different work. And I'm just like, that in itself is just such a minute thing that's just so fucking profound, that just changes everything. Like, it changes the meaning of the work, it changes the energy of the work, it changes the perception of the work, like just everything. When I had to carry it and I brought it to campus and everything, it was big and it was heavy, and I was just like, oh my god. But I love that. I love, you know, being able to carry my own work. Like, I painted this, of course I'm going to carry it. Like, I don't know what else to say about that. Like, this is my work. Like, I'm proud of the time and the effort that I put into making this. So I'm gonna prance it around wherever I can, and I'm gonna show it off as hard as I can. Last week I was kind of feeling a little bit in a funk. I took a break from school and just like kind of not feeling it, and I got to go to Vancouver, and it was like such a beautiful sunset and everything, and just like, wow, it was like it felt like the perfect moment, the perfect time to be out there. So I went with a friend and we got some cakes and we just talked. We went to UBC. We ain't got no business out there, but we were there. And we were walking around the campus. It's big as hell, I swear. You could walk to one building and get lost. The campus itself, like, UBC is a town, basically. It's a city. It's literally Vancouver Part 2. Might even be a little bit better than Vancouver. We were driving around and I was like, okay, so where's the school? And like, he's like, we're in the school. I'm like, no, where's the school? Like, where are the classes? Where all the... He's like, this is the school. Like, we're here. Like, the classes are there. The gym is there. This is there. I'm like, there's no way. This is like a whole town. Like, a whole city, y'all. Like, crazy. Also, last week, I made a painting. It's more like a technical assignment. My professor gave it to me. He's like, I want to see, like, how we can make this candle, you know, portray... What did he say? It was really fun. I hate to like look at it and I'm just like, oh my god, I got bored. But I started off and I was like, okay, I can do 2 paintings because it's a pretty big canvas. I can do 2 paintings, and then one on this side and the other one, because the other one had like a hand, so it's kind of showing distance in that. But as I started sketching it and everything, I was just like not feeling. I hate when I get in a mood like that where like I start painting and then I stop feeling it. I'm just like, fuck it. So I went back in, covered the whole thing in black, and then I drew the candle, the drawing, in white charcoal, pencil, and charcoal stick. And then I kind of just started painting and everything. This was a lot easier and a lot better. But as you watch this video, I've got 3 different angles, so y'all let me know which one is best. So like when I record videos again of me painting, I know which angle you guys can see best at. Because like one of the angles, it was just too close to this, to like my canvas, which is like the second one. You guys will see it. It's just too close to the canvas, this one. And I kept knocking it and I was scared like, oh my god, am I like moving the camera or something like that? But I started off painting and then I was like, okay, I need to see what these colors are really doing, because the background is kind of bluish. It's like a bluish black, and so you can't really see what the colors are really looking like. So I had to go back in and paint the background with a little bit of black. As you can see, I'm going in with the candle, doing like the little transitions towards the light, and also this lid from like some hair gel and everything. I'm kind of just adding in the details. I like to go in and just like give it like a really rough color of everything, kind of just place them down and everything, and then later on add the details. But as you can see, like I'm going in and I'm adding like that little glare in there, and just like a little bit of yellow on the side there, just to like make it more candle like. But yeah, I went in with the black, added more into the background, more of that purple, because that's like from the camera. It's not really anything that you see in real life. It's from the camera, because I am using a photo reference. So I go in and make it more black, and now you can see the candle for real. Like before you couldn't really see it, but now you can see, okay, this is a candle, this is the light and everything. So there's that. I'm just adding a bit more details in there. You can see, I don't know, something about this was a little bit hard. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like me feeling a little bit rusty, that like as I was painting I was just like, oh my god, how am I gonna do this? But I really did love it. I love going back into painting. This is the third angle, which was here at this dinner table. I just needed to change the setting and also just like different lighting, because I wasn't sure what I was doing for real. But I kind of went in on the lighter here. I kind of struggled with it a little bit, mostly because like I couldn't understand like what the light was doing to the lighter. But yeah, I think I got it down eventually. Made it a little bit slimmer because it was looking chunky, right? And then I just went in and corrected all of the lights, the tones. Sorry, not the lights, but the tones. Went in, corrected all the tones, added that glow from the candles. And then I tried to add some details, but I said fuck that and just went back to doing the other stuff. Added more of that glow from the candle, a bit more wax onto the lid as well, just adding those little details that I missed. I didn't add a lot of details also because this is just a technical assignment. It's not really like a painting. But yeah, and that's the painting that I did. I hope you guys like it. And now I'm kind of excited. And it got me thinking about like, okay, now I understand what my professor means when he's asking me like, oh, so like, what was your process and like the lighting and like how has the lighting played an impact into your work? Before he would ask me, I'd just be like, I don't know, I just did it. Like I just decided to do it. Okay, this is what my mind was saying and this is what I went with. Okay, growing as an artist now, I'm kind of realizing like you can't just make impromptu decisions. Like you're gonna get to a stage where you're gonna have to be more intentional with what you're doing. Because for me, I will see the image in my head and I'll bring it out, draw it, or try to understand what that image means, and then that'll be it. Like that's my painting. But now I'm realizing like, okay, now that I've developed a style and now that I've developed a certain imagery, I need to be more intentional with what I'm doing. Okay, and lighting happens to be one of those things that really does play a role in my work. Like the way that I light up the figures or the subject and stuff like that. All of that stuff now matters a lot more than just intuition. Like I can't just go off. I can go off of intuition, but I also need to be more mindful of like why I'm making these decisions, especially with this painting that I'm now working on that, hint, hint, involves a candle. He was like, yeah, like you need to start thinking about these things. You need to start thinking about like why these things are here and what role they play and what they suggest, because I did a little PowerPoint presentation. I started to realize that my work can't just be to say this is it. Like I need to have a reason for these things existing, right? Hold on, let me look at this PowerPoint and show you guys what I'm talking about. I started to notice like there's a lot of like symbolism in my work, and I can't just, do things. Like we talked about mission and vision statements, and this is like something that you want to like pay attention to as you're making your work, is like what is your mission in when making this work, and what is your vision? And like the vision is like the greater goal for like your career in general, but like I guess the mission could be applied to your works, your individual works, right? My mission was like I want to create works that explore and experience the experience and concept of self through figurative paintings laced with symbolic elements that tie these themes together. That's like figurative painting is like what I do, and like there's lots of like elements in there that are symbolic, and so I need to start focusing on those things. And it's crazy because I at some point, I think it's in this journal as well, I wrote and I was like, yeah, like I want my work to have a lot of symbolism. I want people to look at my work and I want them to fucking think. I don't know if I find it in here. Oh, bookmark it and we can talk about it next time and I'll read it to y'all. But I was like, yeah, like I want my work to have a lot of symbolism. I even have a dictionary of symbols upstairs. And I was like, I want my work to have symbolism so that when people see my work, they fucking think. Because I feel like nowadays there's not a lot of like intentional. There's not a lot of symbolism in our work. Like the same way that there used to be symbolism in like the Renaissance or any of like the olden art styles, right? They didn't just put this there just to put it there. Like, no, there was an intention behind it and there's a meaning behind it. And they influence the way that you read and see the work. So that's what I want for my work. And I realized that, and also just like the vision itself, to create a world in which my art can exist. And this right here is my world. Hey! Surprise! Gotcha, bitch. I'm playing. Okay, I want to create my own space. Like I said the first time, it's like, lots of times we look for opportunities to show our work where it's like, no, you should create opportunities. And this is me creating an opportunity. This is me creating a world in which you see my work. Because I'm tired of like, you know, doing chores and like walking around and like imagining myself, you know, in an interview talking about my work. I'm going to talk about my work right now. This is the interview. So that by the time I get big enough, I ain't got to do all of that. You can just come on here and look at the work and see my progression, you know? Like, fuck all these interviews asking me silly questions. No. If you want to know about the practice and you want to know how I got here, welcome. Like, this work, I think is going to be a lot. Like, I just got back from the art supply store. I got like a canvas, a 4x4 canvas sheet. And then I think maybe next week I'll take you along with me to build a canvas stretcher, and then we're gonna apply the sheet onto the canvas stretcher. How does that sound? Great. Cool. So I'm still building on the process. Today I did a lot of things. Even yesterday I did a lot. What did I do yesterday? Yesterday I got to talk to my professor and we kind of talked about like the next steps and stuff like that for my work. So I'm really excited about where this is going and how this is going. I'm very grateful that, you know, not only do I believe in myself, but I've got a professor who, like I said, he really did change the way that I view my work and the trajectory of my work a little bit. So I'm very grateful that he also believes in me and believes in my work. And obviously my parents believe in my work, but you know, it's different when your parents believe it versus when your professor, somebody who's already in the field, tells you like, yeah, like this is your shit. I don't really have much to say other than the fact that I'm going to be working on 2 paintings. I've got 4 ideas. 2 of them I'm going to be working on. The other 2 I'll have to wait. One of them I need to wait for the image to download first. So in the meantime, let me just knock these off so that, you know, I'm not building a full roster of ideas that I might not get to even do because I'm overwhelmed with how many works I gotta do anyway. I've got 2 paintings. One of them is a 4-foot by 5-foot painting. The other one is a 6-foot by 4-foot painting. And I just went and got materials for the 4-foot by 5-foot. That's the one with the canvas sheet, and then maybe next week we'll be building the canvas. But yeah, today I went and I got the canvas sheet. I got it from the art supply store. Can you believe it's like, what is it? I wrote it down because they told me. I thought it was gonna be buku expensive, bro. But it's only $6.45 per foot. That's amazing. So I got it. And then I also got some sandpaper so that when I put it on and I start to like prime it with the gesso, I can like sand it and make it a little bit smoother. I like the feeling of raw canvas, okay? Like I like that texture. I feel like it holds my paint very well compared to like a very smooth surface. I feel like that can get really bulky very fast, whereas when I did it with the raw canvas, it was real smooth. Like not smooth, but like it had that texture and it absorbed very well, and I like that. I went there and I was looking at a whole bunch of like other things too. I was looking at paint because I was thinking like I don't want to keep buying paint, but then at the same time because I run out of paint fast, bro, real fast. But I also didn't want to think of like, I don't know, they had like those those tubs of paint, and I was thinking like, okay, should I just get a tub? But I don't want to have to scoop it out, and I like to like squeeze it out and like put it in the palette. I was also thinking I need another palette because the palettes that I have are pretty small, and I'm working on large paints. I can't keep like running out so fast and having to mix them again. So I'm definitely gonna have to look at getting a new palette. I need to write that down actually. But I mean, I can work with what I've got right now, like I did for so long, but it got a little hard. So yeah, palette. I've already got one really big one, but I'm thinking like I need another one for the other painting, because if I'm going to be working on 2 paintings simultaneously, I mean, for now, let's just put that aside. And then I also saw this medium to slow to make the acrylic paint dry slower. I was thinking about that, but for now I think I'm good. Like I can paint fast enough that the paint doesn't have to dry. And also I found a way to like make it dry a lot slower, which is like covering it with like cling wrap. So that's great. I was debating because like, oh, it's so hard. Like when you have to be really intentional with like what you're doing and very mindful. Like intentionality is not bad. That's not the problem. It's mind. You have to be mindful. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing it for, and this is what I need it for, and this is what it's gonna mean, and all of that, all those steps. Low key, I'm scared that it's going to make my process or make me hate painting, because I have to be so cautious of everything that I'm doing, like all of the symbols that I'm doing and all of that stuff. Like, I don't want it to ruin my practice. I don't want it to ruin my joy of painting, right? Because a big part of it is like the intuition of just like getting a random image in my head and being like, this is it, right? Like I don't want to ruin that. I'm kind of teeter-tottering on intentionality and mindfulness and intuition, trying to balance those two. We'll see how that goes, right? But I went today and I picked up 3 fabrics. This is for the 4x4 pictures this week. I'm use those photos this week. Otherwise, I'm going to be real behind. And we don't want to be behind, child. I tested it out in like the studio just to see like, okay, what does the lighting do and how does that look and everything. So I picked out the 3 of them, or 4 of them. I think 4 of them I picked them out. And it's between that like white and that off-white kind of greenish gray color. I'm still debating between those two, but the reds and that bronzy brown one is definitely a yes. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I just need to figure out how I'm gonna take the photos. I need to pick a day where I'm gonna do that. Hopefully nobody's in there. Get to just go in. Maybe even after hours I could do that. And then I also started the artist statements. I started them yesterday. Artist statements, I hated artist statements, but now I'm just like, let's just start it and get it over with. I still kind of hate them because how are you gonna tell me, like, I already cannot put this image into words. That's why I made it an image, okay? And now you're telling me that I have to. But I also understand, like, you know, the artist statement speaks for me when I'm not there. You know, that's what my professor says. The artist statement speaks for you when you're not there. So it's giving me an idea of like what I want to say when I'm not there, what I want the viewer to hear from me, right? So I started those out and I'm kind of like doing them as like letters to the viewer. Like, here's what you need to know, okay? Something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's all like part of the process. Like I'm still also understanding like how I want to go about it and like what I want my style to be like when it comes to that. But yeah, y'all, like it's a long day and it's only 2:35 right now. Obviously I've been talking for like 30 minutes. Also, remember how I said I was doing the listening to an artist for a whole month? I said screw that, child. It got so boring. I even stopped listening to music. I stopped listening to music because I was like, I'm tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. And I feel like maybe it didn't give me the results that I thought I would get. Not that I had any idea of like what I would get. Actually, I did. I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to Erykah Badu and a whole bunch of other neo soul artists, and it's gonna bring me down to earth. It's gonna, you know, make me feel all earthy and shit. And it's just like I'm already there. Like I already listen to these artists and I already get the message. I understand it and I practice it. So it didn't really do anything new for me. So I kind of just went back to listen to like the stuff that I listened to anyway. I feel like maybe if it was like an artist that I didn't listen to, or if it was like country music or something like that. I did a lot today. I'm proud of myself for doing a lot today. And then I'm also recording this, so that's also great. I'm gonna have to edit it later, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I've got some stuff to do tomorrow as well. But oh, I think we should make this like a thing, right? We should make this a thing. Let me leave you guys with, now what happened to my book? I've been reading Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground, and I've actually gotten a lot further than I did before when I first tried it. So I actually wanted to read you guys something from page 9. I know that's like so early into the book, but he be spitting right off the bat. Like you open, you're like, woo! Talk to me. I'm gonna read this to you and we can close this whole video out. How does that sound? Great? Okay. You know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna read from 2 pages so that it makes sense. So we leave here with like a writer note, okay? Because reading just this alone is very depressing, let me just say, okay? I say it seriously. Surely I'd have managed to discover some sort of pleasure in that as well. The pleasure of despair, of course. But it is in despair that the most burning pleasures occur, especially when one is all too highly conscious of the hopelessness of one's position. Now, it is in all these consciousnesses and disgraces that the sensuality consists. And basically, child, let's just not do Dostoevsky. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will catch you at the next one. Ciao.